All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We are back now. Game number 2, as you can see. And no, that is not an error on your scoreboard right there. That is the actual score. Willowkeeper, BMG Willowkeeper up 1-0 over Bad Monkey Gaming. Again, if you just missed that first game, you need to check out that VOD ASAP, because what a game it was. And again, had one of the bigger plays I've seen in a long time in it alone. So basically the simple word to kind of sum it up, Riftwalker. Pretty much leave it at that. Game number 2 here, joined by Minimaggot once again. Here we are. So, a big thing for me, I was kind of curious, were we going to see a completely reactionary ban or something? No, that's not the case necessarily. Ophelia, Kronos, Rhapsody, Torturers are the bans. So, BMG, they do ban Kronos, however, and that's definitely obviously a lot more understandable here with this banning stage. And then the picks happen. Puppet Master and Empath, Bubbles into Swiftblade, and Behemoth coming out, actually, for Willowkeeper.
Yeah, you talk about like the reactionary ban on Riftwalker. It's probably not even needed, and I don't think they're going to pick up this in this game anyway, because it looks like BMG are looking for a tri lane, which already I don't like Willowkeeper's draft, because they picked up the Behemoth, which looks like they're going to try and fight against Swiftblade. The aggressive Swiftblade tri lane coming up from BMG, because that's so obvious. Like, you can see that a mile away that BMG are going to try and run the aggressive tri lane against Willowkeeper. And I've stated before on other casts that you can't match up against the Swiftblade tri lane. Almost, it's impossible to beat it, especially when they have got an empath and another good like superior like Glaciers and Behemoth, Puppet Master. Yeah, they're okay tri lanes, but in comparison with BMG, sort of tri lane with Swiftblade, empath, and Glaciers, as well as probably BMG being maybe the superior sort of players, I just don't think this is going to work out well, because if you run a tri lane, like if you're tri lane versus tri laning, and you lose that tri lane, that almost sets the tone of the game, because obviously you're putting 3 heroes in one lane, and if one of the team wins, and obviously the other 3 heroes are going to lose, and so you're going to get so far ahead in terms of golden XP that it's going to obviously set the tone of the game. And with this Behemoth pick, it looks like they're going to, or Tree are going to try and defend or try and face this tri lane coming out from BMG, but I guess we'll have to see, and it's obviously going to depend on play as well. But at the moment, I just would like to see them dodge with the bubbles. It's so obvious that they're going to try and do it.
Well, it's so scary. I mean, you talk about top tier tri lanes that have kill potential. I mean, those 3 heroes right there. That is tough, man. You do not want to match up against that, I would think. So yeah, kind of what you're suggesting there. Even with the Behemoth, I mean, it could still be very, very scary, to say the least. So they did go the Aluna to follow things up. So, I mean, they do have a tri-lane making themselves, and obviously we'll get some information here with this final pick, perhaps, in terms of what they may ultimately do with it.
Yeah.
But so it sounded like you want to dodge. Obviously, I'm suggesting that too. I think it is scary.
Definitely.
But so
because think about it, because obviously BMG, they want a tri-lane, so the heroes, their solo laners, are going to be like good, strong solo lanes, like Pharah, obviously. But the only problem is that BMG, they almost have to face against the tri lane, because they can't really rotate the supports in the other lanes. I've mentioned before that whenever I run a tri lane, is you want to have a hero that can, like in the solo lane, that can dual mid, because if your tri lane doesn't work out, you want to rotate your supports in the other lanes, and dual laning with a Pharaoh isn't very good. Like, it's just awkward and annoying, and I think Willowkeeper could have picked up on this, and as a result maybe dodged it and sort of somewhat outdrafted or outlaned BMG here. But it looks like they are going to try and face the tri lane, which is good. And if they do beat this tri lane, then obviously they're going to get so far ahead. I just think it's a risk they don't need to take.
Yeah, I mean, they still could do something like a Behemoth Aluna mid and maybe send Puppet Master and another support here top. That wouldn't be out of the question, I guess.
It's possible, but it's just awkward. Like, in comparison to what you could do from the start, in terms of heroes. I mean, they definitely could, but I think it's setting up, because look, you've got the Tundra for solo, they've got the Bubbles for solo, and then they've got the Aluna Behemoth Puppet Master against the tri lane character from BMG. But like I said, I could be saying all this, and in the end, they end up beating the tri lane character from BMG. So it just comes down to play. Obviously, I just think the tri lane coming out from BMGs is just so heavily favoured. I mean, I might even see another weird, wacky solo lane coming out from BMG, maybe like Thunderbringer we've seen before, like even Bombardier, just even trying to secure that. They're right-clicking actually here, so we might see it actually.
Yeah. Bombardier, we have seen them play that before, so that definitely wouldn't be by on me as an odd pick, but a little bit different than what we're used to seeing, for certainly. But yeah, as you're suggesting, kind of that Thunderbringer aspect of He's able to get a lot of damage out quickly, especially in that global presence with the airstrike, and can help burst down and assist a trial if it calls for it for more kills. So, yeah, it all comes down to Willow Keeper. If they happen to match up, definitely on paper, you probably lean towards BMG, but who knows? Anything could happen.
Yeah, definitely. But
it.
I mean, this BMG lineup though is so focused on the laning phase. They've picked up obviously one of arguably the strongest tri lane, as well as even two strong solo lanes to help that tri lane even further. Obviously with the Pharaoh Rocket, which is global, and if they're going to pick up the Bombardier here or the Thunderbringer, that obviously helps even more. But even when rotations come out and there is the Bombardier, but when talking about Pharaoh, when he gets level 6, he's probably going to TP in and try and help that tri lane. So for BMG, it's almost all in for the laning phase. If they win the laning phase, they almost win the game. But if not, then they might have a little bit of issues that we saw in game 1. Their strategy didn't work, or the game plan didn't execute well, and as a result, they lost game 1. And this could be the same in game 2. But I think the way they've laned it, or the way it should pan out in theoretically, they should win this tri lane. But I guess it all goes down to play, which is the interesting bit, I guess.
Oh, most certainly. That's obviously what's what was the point? If you just gave him after the draft, then what would be the point of even playing the game? You just draft, and then that would be it, right? So that's definitely just one step of the game itself. But no doubt, again, BMG, very, very scary lineup, and again, definitely of course, and understandably so, the favorite team going into this series, but they are down 1-0 against Willow Keeper right here. So it all comes down to this, though, as far as initially, again, how exactly are they going to lane it? If it's as expected, they are going to match up in the bottom lane against the tri lane, and so far, it's definitely looking like that is going to be the case. I mean, Tundra is heading down here as well, but of course, that's to simply maybe get a gank here early on or prevent one right off the bat, but eventually head to the middle lane, I'm sure, and Bubbles will more than likely make its way to the top lane. So, yep, it is going to be Try versus Try down here. And BMG not even going to get in the jungle just yet. They're actually going to play pretty safe here to start things off. But this is where also the solos will definitely play a pretty big role. And again, you look at what BMG has. They got the Bombardier, like we are talking about, especially with that global presence in the airstrike. As soon as he hits level 6. Willow Keeper has to pay really good attention to that. I'm sure they will be communicating it, but that is, again, very, very important because would not be surprised within seconds if they go for an airstrike gank.
Yeah,
assisting with a lot of damage.
But as well as Pharaoh adding even more damage, I'm pretty sure that Jonas is going to max the torment it. So I've seen him do it whenever BMG run a tri lane, and I mean, Tree have the weaker tri lane, but then matched in with they're going against global spells to even weaken their tri lane even further. It's just looking so bad for this tri lane down bottom, but you never know. They could pull some kind of miracle, which we've seen in game 1, so it's definitely possible, I guess.
It certainly is. It certainly is. All right, so game number 2 here. Definitely living up to some good hype already, and looking forward to the continuing of the series, of course. So as we said, no action here to start things off. Just simply a very defensive ward placed by Willow Keeper. And, again, it makes sense. Fusion placing a ward aside here, getting some good vision in case they start to roam around and try to set up a gank around the jungle side here. Going to give them that vision to work with. And they also put one at the bottom rune area. So, yeah, they're not going to look to block any pole camps because, well, again, with the way the lanes are set up, it would really be pointless for them to do so. But it's going to be interesting to see how the things start right off the bat here in this. And how about Bubbles, by the way? Because I'm very curious. He actually went a mana battery as far as his item build.
I'm pretty sure Boxy thinks he's going to go against Bombardier because we saw actually. I can't remember. I think it was TDM played QSQ one time, and I think it might have been Styles. Bombardier was facing against Zai's Bubbles, I think, and Style completely trashed the Bubbles pretty much. And I think the mana battery is obviously good because the Boom Dust is one of the normal spells you pick up on Bombardier in the laning phase, and that's obviously going to help. But yeah, this mana battery is going to be quite useless in terms of Pharaoh. I mean, the Tormented Soul is going to obviously offer that mana battery somewhat help to Boxy, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he was expecting a Bombardier matchup here in the top lane.
Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of unfortunate. I mean, not the biggest in the world, especially if they don't really go for a kill just yet. But obviously, Behemoth is running back right there, and thus, because of the DC icon. So, but hopefully gets that sorted out and comes back into the lane and going to be able to assist once again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's going against the Pharaoh, so definitely not as. I mean, isn't that one of those cases then? I mean, you can buy the Mana battery from the outpost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Probably should have waited if he was going to do
Yeah,
that.
it's boxing, so you know.
I like that's always the reason. It's boxing.
It
Why
is.
even try to put logic? Just let him do his thing, all right?
It is. It's like, logic doesn't work with boxing. He just does whatever he thinks is right. He just does it. Game's gone away, so this bottom lane is definitely the lane to watch there, because especially in tri-lanes, if you lose like one kill in a tri-lane, it almost sets the tone. Obviously, there's potential for comebacks, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just going to be the first kill is obviously going to be the most important kill in this tri-lane, without a doubt.
So both teams getting a very getting some wards off to the side here. Ooh, yeah, Behemoth is going. But again, as I was just saying, they know that. They know Behemoth is right here because of the ward of sight. So he's not being too sneaky despite him thinking so. That might be the case. So rev wards are also going to be important at this bottom side. We'll see if they
Yeah,
can
and
come out.
lane control is probably going to be the most important thing, particularly as the Legion side are running the Behemoth. Behemoth in a tri-lane works quite well as long as you can get the positioning, but obviously we see this ward coming out from Silk, which obviously counters the, or reduces the positioning element coming out from Behemoth, but also they've lost the lane control as well, so and this tri-lane is looking like severely worse actually for Legion the more this goes on actually, because they've lost the lane aspect.
They are going
or
to
the,
counter it
lane
here.
positioning. Yeah, they need to get. They need to start pulling this pull count if they're going to get the lane positioning. That's the only way they have a potential to win this there.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, even if kills don't happen, I'm pretty sure that Swift Play's going to outstart. Oh, whoa! Glacius is in trouble.
Is he? Oh, wow, he's off to the side. I didn't even
Yeah,
notice that. Yeah, he's off to the side right here. Behemoth going in. Now Behemoth all of a sudden a little bit over position. Now he's going to eat through the trees. Rudicy, can he actually get away from this? Glacius coming and has that freeze. He can't get the line of sight, though. In comes the spin. Now he has the line of sight, but he's out of range. And all of a sudden, Swiftblade, he's being turned on. Fidget Shot is ready from Behemoth. Can he get the angle? They're not even going to go for it. Ooh, very safe play right there.
This
Coming
coordination is like, I'm just going to say it, but it's pretty poor. Like, they're using spells on different heroes and like start going on different heroes. And I think it was a good wall up coming out from Brutus on the Glaciers. They saw Silk out of position, but BMG, I think they need to just pick a target. I think Polymaster I think Behemoth was slightly out of range for Glaciers, but
Yeah.
that's why there wasn't the first blood right there. If Glaciers got the freeze from Behemoth, then Swiftblade would have just done tons of damage to Behemoth, but so that didn't happen in the end. But again, though, BMG are getting the lane control, which is definitely important, because with the lane control, particularly when you're running a Swiftblade tri-lane, if the empath can get a nice wall off, then that's an almost guaranteed kill.
Yeah. You see, let's take a quick look at the other lanes here. Obviously, a little bit of a downtime at the bottom lane now because of what's going on with the stack, and we'll probably see a pull here coming out from Aluna. But middle lane, you got Tundra at 10-1 versus a Bombardier's 12-3, so slight advantage there for Limp. You would expect maybe Bombardier to have the better time, or?
Yeah, I definitely think he should have a better time. But I mean, I talked about Cracky and Boxy are such good individual skill players, particularly in the laning phase. But I do think Limp should be doing a bit better. But at the same time, Limp doesn't. I've never really seen Limp play Bombardier, to put it frankly.
Yeah.
And we talked about in game one where BMG were picked up heroes that they're quite familiar with and they like, and etc. etc. But I haven't really seen Limp play Bombardier, so that definitely could be a factor in. But I think he should be doing maybe a little bit better, or Tundra do a little bit worse, depending on if Limp is focusing on harassment or creep kills. But yeah, I think he should be doing maybe a little bit better. It's not the biggest deal, because at the same time, the longer this pretty goes on, the Bombardier is going to have a better time, although there is potential for kill from the Tundra actually onto the Bombardier.
Yeah. I'll say again, the times speaking of the similar here in the sense of Thunderbird here, I mean, Limp obviously dominated with him, so, we'll see if Bombardier, I'm sure that he'll be similar aspect, or at least going for that on here. But, yeah, Bubbles, again, he's winning that top lane as well, slightly, but very, very close. So, really, overall, the solos, a lot of even coming out, nothing too overwhelming between either one of the sides. But yeah, obviously we got a case here. Fusi DCing, and again, that is unfortunate because he's already starting to run back a little bit, so maybe going to miss on a little bit of experience here. But technical issues, they do happen sometimes, so not much you can do about it. Just to get the quick pods out ASAP, and then eventually come back into the game. So yeah, it looks like Rudicy, unfortunately, having just missed Swift kill because of it. No big deal. You gotta love that attitude. It's like, just missed a big bloodlust kill, whatever. I mean, life moves on. Yeah, because again, it's no one's fault really. It's just sometimes I missed a hat trick.
Oh, these guys are so funny though. They're just like trolls, pretty much. But
yeah, it's a game. I mean, you like to see the positive attitude. That's indeed what it is in the end. All right, so.
But we do see actually Luna here pulling, which is I think definitely what Legion need to do to get their lane control back. because the more lane control they can get back, obviously, the less chance they're going to get picked off by the Empath Swiftblade combination, but also helps Behemoth.
Top lane Bubbles, he might have a kill right here. Shell Surf coming up in 2 seconds, I think he has it. Jonas Fang probably knows it. There's a Shell Surf in there, he goes through. The power supply, or mana battery, excuse me, definitely came into play right there as well. He had a good amount of charges done initially, and I think that may have thrown Jonas Fang a little bit off guard as he was going for the kill himself, so big turnaround from Bubbles.
And this is what I was saying, I mean, Cracky and Boxy are such strong... Oh, Empath might be in trouble, actually, they're trying to rotate on him, but no, he's fine. Yeah, it's the same. Cracky and Boxy are such strong individual skill players, and we mentioned actually before that when the solos match up against it, it's really, really quite rare that one of them gets a kill unless it's a misplay or exceptional skill base. But I'll have to. I wasn't really watching the engagement, but I'll probably just have to give the benefit of doubt to Boxy. But this is such a big deal because obviously the tri-lane isn't. It's kind of even at the moment. There's no kills at the moment, which I think is probably to the fault of BMG. I mean, Fuzi was DC'd, so they might be going in.
Here we go. Finally, some trial in action. Puppet Master is going to be gone on right here as the Slate comes out. You see Behemoth. He's trying to get that wall. If he does finally get it off, he did not really catch Swiftblade the best, though, but now Swiftblade, he's taking some good damage in return. Auto attacks coming out. Power throw goes through. Swiftblade going to be fine, though. Freeze on a Behemoth.
Bubbles.
No kills coming up, but here comes Bubbles. He's not level 6, but he has a Shell Survey. Gets a perfect lineup. Down goes Glacius, and Empath also going to fall. Airstrike comes out. At least they get a turn kill right there onto a Luna, but the big picture, again, Willowkeeper coming out on top of that exchange in the end.
Yeah, and I think that just goes back to Swiftblade being level 2. I don't want to blame or sort of isolate that Fuzi was DC'd, etc. But that was definitely a factor. Like Puppet Master was level 4 there. If Swiftblade had Blade for
middle
level
lane.
2,
They're going for kill. There you go. Look at Boxy, man. Playing active and getting limp.
He's on it. Like, I've talked about it, obviously, Boxy's playing. Obviously, we haven't seen him that much. But I think he had internet issues the past few games. But Boxy's definitely playing on. Like, he was level 5 and he's still TB bottom. Like, you wouldn't really expect that to happen from a normal Bubbles player. They normally wait till level 6 on the help field. But he saw the opportunity and he went for it. And as a result, this tri-lane is definitely in favour now of Tree, even though I said that BMG should most probably have won this tri-lane, but...
Well, exactly. That's on paper, sure, it's one thing, but that's why you play the game, as they say. Empath, yeah, he is in some trouble, but not really, because the Legion team, they didn't have a Luna here, and that's the difference maker. If Luna was here, definitely a kill, but she was still coming back, or actually doing a pull here, it looks like. So that's where the communication maybe not 100% right there for the Legion team. So in the end, survives as, bottom rune. A little bit of action being presented, but he good. Always, especially against a Behemoth, you always want to be careful about going off from your teammates because that long-range stun that can come out any second. So continues to be very, very, I guess, timid down here by both sides as far as where to go. It's level 6 on Tundra now as well, so these level 6s are coming out across the board here, at least on the solo lanes now. You mentioned Farrell's level 6, so would you like to see him get a TP and maybe port bottom here? I mean, he has one,
definitely.
actually, so...
Yeah, I definitely think so, but I think any rotation coming out from either of the solo lanes is going to respond to the two other solos TPing in, so it's going to be like a 5-on-5 team fight here in the bottom lane. If either solos rotate, it's kind of like a chain reaction. If one solo TPs, then everyone else will as well. But I definitely think that's something needs to happen though, because BMG are losing this tri-lane. I talked about how if you lose the tri-lane, it's going to set the tempo of the game. Like Swiftblade's level 3 compared to a level 5 Puppet Master, like this tri-lane isn't going well. Yeah. And it could go even worse as well. When Puppet gets level 6, it's almost a guaranteed kill on whoever he chooses to go on. So.
Mana batteries are being picked up, kinda. I mean, actually, there's only a couple here. Swiftblade and Empath actually having no one on the Legion side actually has a mana battery. That's very curious there. But at the same time, though, Luna does have his boots, and neither support has. I mean, what would you value? Actually, here we go. Right the Pharaoh coming in. Luna gets caught. Port is coming in though for the Legion side. The wall off will block off any support. Now Pharaoh, he might be in trouble because of that. Bubbles is here, level 8. He has a Kelfield. He's looking for the opportunity. There's the Kelfield coming out. Has Shell Surf by here comes Bombardier. Everybody joining the bottom lane. And comes the Avalanche, but not enough for the kill. Bubbles now, he's in deep zone right here. Bombardment comes out. Bubbles having to eat through the trees. He's going to be fine initially. And Pharaoh barely staying alive, but a big airstrike coming out, and down falls Puppet Master. As a result of all of that, Tundra, the piercing shard, so snipes out 1 kill on Empath, snipes out 2. Boxy with a beautiful Shell Surf. They're going to go for a 3rd. They might have it. Maybe Behemoth doesn't have enough mana in the end. So everybody, again, coming to the bottom lane as a result of what happened there. And so... Yeah,
I said it was going to be some kind of a chain reaction, because if the solos didn't TP in, that would have been a completely one team fight for everyone. But I think it ended up being somewhat equal, actually, and so I wasn't counting who died and who didn't, but I think it's looked somewhat equal, because I think Willowkeeper ahead before that team fight, and now they're ahead after it. So I should assume that it worked out almost equal in terms of kills and not. But I mean, the one important thing, middle lane actually.
Yeah, they're going to collapse, and Pharaoh gets taken out. So Boxy Man, 7-0-0 here already. That's a tone setter.
Yeah, this I've talked about it before, but Boxy is just insane, man. Seriously,
You don't say. You've mentioned that before. No.
Yeah.
He is, he's been very active, and it's working.
And I mean, with Bubbles as well, it's not the perfect hero to get this kind of streak on, though, because obviously the early game is what both teams are sort of going for in terms of team strategy. So getting like 7-0 on a playmaker is perfect, or the perfect amount of the perfect hero to get these kills on, because obviously it's going to promote even more aggression and just help the playmaker even more. But it looks like BMG are going to rotate up the lanes, which I think is maybe the thing they need to do, because I've mentioned before, so in other casts, that if you go aggressive tri-lane and it doesn't work out, it's so much easier for the other solos to gank your lane, because obviously you're in the aggressive lane or the off lane, and BMG were slowly losing that tri-lane because of the rotations coming out from the Legion solos, and I think BMG was the only call they could make. So they're going to rotate the Pharaoh bottom now and try and get their farm on Swiftblade, which I think is definitely needed. But the Boxy is going to still be up here, and he's still going to be like in a massive pain. Like he's like level 9 compared to a level 5.
He could get a kill here. I mean, I feel like
he's probably going to try it. It's Boxy, so
yeah, he does that. With all his abilities, not only level 3 Song of the Sea, but everything including the kill field. I mean, that should be a kill as long as he lands a shell surf. But yeah, he's a little bit too risky at this point, so it's going to actually harass Glacius a little bit. And he does need to be a little careful himself, because here comes Empath now, so sure, he has the levels, but they have 3 heroes collapsing. Yeah, he doesn't have Shell Surf currently. 3 more seconds, he's going to go for Turka. In comes the Kelfield. He has Shell Surf coming up. He's probably going to look to use it. He does take a stun. No Shell Surf just yet to take cover. He just puts an auto attack. He Shell Surfs through the other way, and he doesn't go over the ledge, though. He was going for over the ledge, and that is where it's going to hurt him. And he does not have Swift Slash, so what happened? The Essence Link just went away. The airstrike going to be dodged. Yeah. Needs one more auto attack right here. Has a show surf in 1 second. He needs a TP though, maybe. No, he goes right next to Empath. Holds his ground. Power supply comes out. Take cover. Oh my God, he's somehow still alive. Finally falls though. He needed that TP. I don't know if it would have mattered in the end, but.
The Essence Link gets stopped by take cover. By the way.
Okay. Well, okay. That's what it was. I didn't see the animation of it, so I just disappeared all of a sudden. But that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I think actually Boxy could have maybe actually bought a TP and shell stuff into the trees up here in the top lane. Instead, he tried to maybe be a little bit too fancy, maybe, and shell stuff back, or whatever the reason was. But it's obviously not the biggest of kills, because it's still obviously 8-1. But the problem is, like, when you go this sort of streak on a hero, given I don't know who the hero went to. It went to Hanskin, which obviously isn't as bad, but like when you sort of start snowballing as a hero and you start sort of slacking and you start dying and stuff, it can obviously get the enemy team back into this game.
Yeah.
And that's obviously the risk of winning. Bottom lane.
Yep, it was just simply Voodoo Puppet came out and with the puppet show with Pharaoh basically by himself, and Empath was a little too far away, and then they comboed for the kill. So not much he could have done right there, but. No, I mean, that is a fair point, though. I mean, obviously stopping that streak gave him a 501 bonus goal. Now, I believe they nerfed that a while back, so it's not as much as it used to be. Yeah. But it still is, a fair amount.
Yeah. That's player factor, but luckily Empath got it instead of Swiftblade, which Swiftblade definitely would have needed that to kickstart his farm. He's only 180 GPM right now compared to 300 on Puppet Master. We see Tundra might been trying to set something up actually here on Swiftblade or Glacius. He's coming in with bubbles.
Yeah, we see Wrath of the Pharaoh not going to be used just yet. Has it, but not confident in the angle. There we go, but he hits the coral in the background. Bombardment going to cut off Tundra, and he's still going to be in a lot of trouble. All 5 collapse. The cold shoulder away, though. If he somehow escaped, that would have been epic, especially with all 5 being there. But no, it wasn't to be because all 5 were there. And obviously that's extra difficult. So not much that the Legion team could have done to recover in that time. I mean, they were pretty far away, so... instead, push elsewhere and continue to farm. Speaking of that, Puppet Master now over 300 GPM. So, I mean, Baltazar, he's managed to really build up, and he's especially compared to the Swiftblade, who's still sitting at a measly 185 GPM. So this is not Fuzi's game here. And again, understandably, because of how the tri-line went. So, Bombardier, he's kind of the one that's standing out a little bit right here. What do you think BMG needs to do right now to calm things down and get back into this?
Getting the gank off on Tundra was perfect. Actually, Tundra's come back again in this top lane. He might be trying to get a kill actually, perhaps on this Swift if you can get him, but no. They just need to get back in terms of kills really. That's the only way. Like they don't really have the potential to sort of push towers because obviously it's the sort of team composition. It doesn't really acquire for that. Actually, they're going here in the top lane.
Yeah, they're going to be jumping onto Empath. We do see Shelter coming out, and the quick kill. But now the Swift Slashes all bounces on Tundra, but it's still only level 1. Not the most damage coming out. Airstrike, though. Nice lineup right there. Gets a cone to Tundra. They're going to go for a couple bubbles. He throws out the Kelfill, but in comes Feral with that Wrath of the Feral. No Shell Surf to be had, and Boxy will fall as well. You see Aluna just standing her ground. Puppet Master ports in, but of course way too late there. So again, that Airstrike assistance is doing a lot of work here, as you would expect. And, well, you talk about what does BMG need to do to start calming things down. Is that exactly that, really?
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
I
mean, I see this sometimes, honestly, whenever I cast or when I watch games or play games myself. Like, one team gets ahead of, like, in terms of the laning phase, and then they start making these kind of over-aggressive, and like we saw Tundra go twice up top try and set something. He died first time, and maybe he should have learned his lesson because he went up the second time as well.
Yeah.
And then as a result, he almost cost his whole team the advantage, because now BMG are back on even footing. They knew exactly what they had to do to get back into this game, and that was sort of to counter gank whenever Tree got maybe a little bit too frisky, trying to get some extra advantages, which they probably didn't need to make. Like, if you're that far ahead, you can just keep farming. The only way you can maybe lose it is if you try something risky, which Tree did there. I mean, they could have maybe gone for the engagement in the sort of team fight, but Puppet Master didn't have a TP with him, so it was 4v5, and as a result, BMG capitalized. And now this game is completely even. So.
That it is. You do have a Puppet Master, though. Whispering Helm picked up, and actually going to be doing some triple stack agents here with the team. But look at this. Bombardier scouting things out with an Invis. He has Empath inside even. And I think they found a good target right here. Behemoth by himself. He does not have a chance of surviving. He has a shockwave, but yeah, there's no way he's going to use that right there because it would have pretty much done nothing in the end. So good find, and the gank is successful with the Invis rune. Now you got a level 11 Bombardier here. That means that the airstrike's already been so powerful, and now you just got a level 2 airstrike to be coming out, lessening the cooldown and even doing more damage as a result of that. So he goes to Tablet, by the way, obviously, earlier on here. Now, Swiftblade, he has 2,200 gold saved up, so his GPM still, it's kind of going up there. Okay, he gets the Abyssal Skull. Is this still kind of a game where you're expecting to go more the, usual maybe the Firebrand here and more of the farming round of Frostburn, or kind of a different style?
I mean, I could have seen him go either way. He could have gone like early into the Energizer and Abyssal. He does pick up the Abyssal here. Energizer maybe have been the preferred pick, perhaps, because obviously he doesn't have that much stats. And Abyssal's only starts getting good when you start pushing or the late game. Actually, middle lane, they're jumping in on Tundra.
Yeah, they're going to go into Tundra. There is support nearby. Kinda. In comes the airstrike, though. He gets the avalanche off, but a lot of damage done, obviously. And Tundra ends up falling. Aluna comes in with a stun, but she way overextended right there. Aluna's going to be picked off as well. He got bubbles. He had a shell strip and a Kelfill, but it just would have been too much of a commitment and couldn't guarantee getting out of there. So more fines for BMG. They're doing a great job once again of really getting control of this game now and finding ganks. And obviously Pharaoh's a big part of that too. The Wrath of the Pharaoh has been huge, as it tends to be, for setting up these kills.
Yeah, definitely. BMG just ganked their way back into this game. Like, they didn't have the potential to push or to necessarily team fight, but they're getting a lot of early pickoffs and just ganks as well, which is definitely what they need to get back into this game. And now Swiftblade's like on 280 GPM. He was at like 100 GPM in the laning phase, but now he's come back just because he's been getting involved in team fights and ganks. And now he's got stacked jungle almost completely, and he's going to wipe them up really quickly. And I know I did say he should maybe have gone to Energizer, but if he's going to get this many stacks, Abyssal is perfect item just to keep farming in the jungle.
Yeah.
So
definitely helps for that. Now again, Puppet Master Assassin Shroud is in the works, speaking of the guy in pickups and more movement even. Bubbles also Portal Key, I assume, for him is going to be coming out here sooner than later. Again, especially with the start that he had. It's obviously been slowing down a little bit. He was 7-0-0 and now he's 8-2-1, so really he's gone a 1-2-1 since that crazy start he's had. And that's understandably again slowing things down. And Tundra also probably a good Portal Key candidate. Speaking of that, also Behemoth, who's obviously not close here. And I think a lot of that has to do with, again, there's not a whole lot of farm to go around right now. At least get Bubbles and Tundra those Portal Keys, and then maybe prioritize that Behemoth here. Is probably what we're going to end up seeing. I mean, do you agree with that? It's like, do you just want to maybe get Behemoth farming right now? Maybe just say Tundra sorry, or...
Yeah, I would honestly put the priority farm on Behemoth. And I know obviously Tundra is a good portal key target as well, but he's very close to it as well, and he can farm the jungle. I just think if they can get like a portal key on this Behemoth, the team fight is going to be so perfect because BMG, they've got Swiftblade for Magic Community, but other than that, this Behemoth ult is going to be so much more stronger than sort of in compared to other sort of games, because there's no one that can really pick up a Shrunken Head other than Swiftblade, and even then it's like you don't really want to, because if you've got the Blade Frenzy. So with the lack of Shrunken Heads coming out from BMG, I think this Portal Key on Behemoth is going to be stronger than usual. So yeah. I'd definitely somewhat prioritise farm on him.
Now, Tundra was coming in here with the Invis rune. You see Pharaoh was here, but he's playing it very safe now. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they look to go for a counter gank, though, on BMG's side, and maybe that kind of catches them off guard with the Tundra with the Invis. That is going to be lasting for another 26 seconds right here. Depends on how patient they ultimately are in the end. But Jonas Fan is going to kind of still sit down here. The tower going to be pushed in by the creep wave, with Puppet Master farming the way. So, I mean, this tower is going to end up falling. So, again, really curious. Are we going to see a defense put up by BMG? Yeah, pour into the background here. Coming out from Empath. There's another TP. Tower's falling quickly. Is Pharaoh going to be going in? He's not going to. Looks like they just don't want to risk it. Tundra still... Okay, he's going to be exposed now, yeah. And all of a sudden, he's not Invis anymore. So, no kills to be had. It was very close to possibly on both sides, but no one taking the bait right there. And in the end, just back to farm. Triple stack agents. Speaking of that, and Bombardier's going to look to come clean them up. Bombardier, what kind of progression do you expect to see on him? Maybe he's on Portal Key himself now?
I mean, you could definitely pick up the Portal Key, but I think Portal Key is obviously there for the initiation. They've got Pharaoh for that kind of initiation. I'd say, I mean, there's a few items you can go on, but one item you probably wouldn't expect to be that good, but I think Spell Thunder is actually really strong. I don't know I think it is open in competitive play now, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think Spell Thunder is actually really strong. I've played around with it in TMM a couple of times, and particularly with obviously a lot of magic damage coming out from Bombardier, the damage you can put out with that one item, and it's not even that expensive. It's really, really strong. So it'd be cool to see Limp pick up here. I don't know if he's played around with the new item with Spell Thunder or not, but I think it's really strong though.
I mean, isn't it? But isn't it more like of a presence? Like if you're going to more of a tanky hero or a tanky team, is where it probably shines a little more, or does that not really matter?
Yeah, I mean that obviously does have a potential. You know, but I know it's. Oh wait, what I'm trying to say is that
it's still
a
solid.
Good item. Yeah, it's still a solid item. Like obviously, you want to get it for the maximum benefits, but it's still a strong item regardless if it's against a heavy tank team either or not. And what else he could go? He could go like Hellflower or Sheepstick or even sort of Spell Shards. But I just think Spell Thunder is a strong sort of pickup, particularly against actually these Portal Keys on Bubbles and Tundra. That's obviously going to create a dot, which is going to stop them from Portal Keying. So I think it's a strong item pickup.
Yeah, it's decent build up too. I mean, the Mater Totem obviously applies some solid stats to you overall, and then you got plenty of intelligence on top of that, so not too expensive. But yeah, we'll see what he does go for. He has 2,300 gold saved up. There's some action at the Legion Agents, but in the end, Bombardier falls back before any catch is going to happen onto him. So the Portal Key is picked up by Bubbles as well as Tundra. And look at Behemoth actually. Ruda has managed some pretty good farm here. He actually has 1,500 gold saved up. He also has Steam Boots and Power Supply. That's very important. We'll see a lot of times like a Behemoth has just red boots and ends up getting the Portal Key, and you're like, well, kind of need mana, bro. He does have some decent mana in this case. Top lane, yeah, they do get the catch on the Swiftblade with that said. The Portal Key's coming into play. And obviously doing work right there with the Assassin Shroud as well. So Bombardier's nearby. He does have a haste rune actually, but without Swiftblade, I don't know if they're confident in fighting this. Do you think they should defend?
Well, without Swiftblade, he doesn't have buyback, so I don't think they can really defend this. Although, I mean, like Jonas is down bottom as well, so they shouldn't really be in any position to get picked off because obviously Tundra can spot them with the Shiver, but it doesn't even look like the Tree want to attack either. I mean, they don't really have like when you run two tri-lanes, you don't really have the push potential of like say if you had like an Ophelia or a Tempest. So pushing towers is a lot slower and it's a lot almost dangerous or more dangerous because to push the tower you have to almost like lose sort of location sort of integrity. So like you've got to push up closer to the tower, if you're trying to dive someone, it just puts you in a worse position and can obviously cost you the team fight. So it's just a risk they don't want to take, which is understandable. They're equal in this game at the moment. So
Behemoth did just purchase this Portal Key, so definitely a tone setter. Speaking of items like that, that's good for Willowkeeper to have. What are your thoughts on this? Just kind of maybe just a little overthinking it, but it looks like Pharaoh, he might be going for that puzzle box with the bolstering and armband picked up here. Is there justification to maybe argue it's like puzzle box is a little scary against a hero like Behemoth because you're just making the shockwave that much more powerful, or is it really like that's not a big deal?
I mean, I think it definitely has potential, like to be somewhat of a bad pickup because of that one reason. But at the same time, they need some kind of revelation, as well as the team fighter is good. But they don't. They like the support's not going to be able to afford a bound eye, and that puzzle box is going to be really strong, particularly against Puppet Master. But I do know exactly what you're saying. But at the same time, if he gets barbed armor, he can always counter that back to Behemoth at the same time. So.
Yeah. Obviously, kind of unfortunate time right there. He buys the portal key and immediately DCs after. So that's currently why the game is paused. So, and just slight technical issues here. Looks like he is going to be reloading in though, and hopefully once again good to go. As far as him being back in now, we look at where the game's at right now. They are pushing the bottom tower, but you got Willowkeeper going in mid right here. Bottom tower is going to drop pretty quickly with that second part of the mid tower. So curious how how much they're gonna commit to pushing this middle lane here. Again, a lot of jump potential on BMG, especially with that Pharaoh, as we've seen many times this game already. So if you're Willowkeeper, you're doing this a little scared, I would assume. And yeah, I don't think they're gonna go all out by any means. They're gonna play it very safe. Already starting to fall back, in fact, and not gonna risk anything right here. Puppet Master does have a Mighty Blade picked up, so of course now that Shrunken Head is gonna be next in work for him. And yeah, good thing they did fall back. You already see Pharaoh. He was ready to set up and go for the initiation, but obviously a no-go there. So Willowkeeper, though, especially now with the Behemoth portal key, so we just sat there talking about how, yeah, they don't have the minion kind of hero to maybe assist them pushing. Oh, Conqueror, actually. Going to be coming from BMG. There's no vision here. I think this is a complete Ninja Conqueror, and it looks like it's going to work for BMG.
It's going to be really, really big, actually, because like BMG, I said, obviously talked about how pushing the lane without almost pushing here is kind of dangerous, but now with the token, they can just put that on the Swiftblade and you can start auto-attacking the tower to start pushing towers down. They did spot it with a Lunar Power Throw, but it's well too late for them to do anything now, and so they're going to get token on Swiftblade now. Yeah. It's going to be a big factor.
And as soon as that message pops out, I wouldn't be surprised if that comes at a decent surprise to Willowkeeper. Again, they had no vision, and they didn't seem like they were whatsoever even trying to guess that was the case. And that is kind of one of those situations, though. I don't want to say it's inexcusable when you have a Tundra on your team, but usually you would not let that happen, especially with that and in a Luna for that matter. But
no, I'd definitely agree with you, actually. But at the same, I mean, I don't really see. I know we talked about how I know Willowkeeper quite well. I don't really know them playing Tundra that much, actually. So I don't know if Crack is that familiar with the hero itself. I mean, he has been doing quite a good job, but I do know what you mean. Though, like, they don't have vision on Congo, which is okay, that's fine. But you must have, you know, your spells checking it out, because you just can't give someone a free Congo, particularly as obviously they're going against the Hellborn advantage, which is even easier for Hellborn to pick up the Congo here. But I just, it really is kind of inexcusable, actually, to be fair, particularly as it's like a top competitive game right now. It could be the difference between winning and losing just for a simple misplay that can be quite rectified quite easily. So.
Yep. Yeah, again, they might have Red Power thrown it. I'm not 100% sure. It was on cooldown.
They did, but it was really late.
It was very, very late. Yeah, exactly.
Well, they couldn't do anything afterwards. So.
One of those cases of a little bit too late. So, token of life on Swiftblade, and look at what BMG's doing. They're pretty comfortable and looking to set up a push. Now, this is interesting, though, because, again, Team 5 potential, especially now with the Portakin Behemoth, and he's level 11. They do have quite a bit of team fight now. Shrunken Head is so close to being finished on Puppet Master, but he doesn't have the gold for it just yet. So you're kind of in that spot of, if you're Willowkeeper, you almost want to kind of wait. Should they commit to defending this top first tower? I mean, we're 26 minutes in now.
Yeah, they should. I think they should just let this tier 1 tower drop. Like, they're going against Token, but at the same time, they might even try and surprise them. We've got obviously on the left. BMG might expect, oh yeah, they're not going to defend tier 1, and then as a result, going to get jumped and surprised. But
probably. It's going to be so close. There goes the invulnerability. Red stun coming out from Melita. Here we go. Pharaoh actually jumps in first. On a Tundra right there. Suicide just come out. Pharaoh's going to drop right off the bat. No answer for the Legion team. Behemoth, he couldn't portal key. He got silenced somehow. In comes the airstrike. Down goes Behemoth. The double damage Puppet Master is forced to fall back, but now we have a buyback from Tundra. Going back in. Bombardier going to end up dropping as a result. The hold on his Swiftblade. He's taking some good damage. Again, he has that token of life, though. Glacius will barely live. Puppet Master chasing. He is level 16 now, but Empath jumps inside of Swiftblade. They're chasing back on a Puppet Master. He's putting in some good auto attacks. But again, this is a Puppet Master, or Swiftblade, that still has that token. He's doing just fine, and Puppet Master forced to fall back in the end. He's too low on life. Swiftblade wants this kill, though. He's going big time right here, but not going to be enough. And Tundra doing his best to at least fight them off. Now, Behemoth is up in 10 seconds. Yeah, if they keep committing to this, that could be dangerous for BMG. But exactly what we're talking about. I mean, was it worth defending? I mean, it's just your first tower, and clearly that did not pay off at all.
Yeah. I think the team fight could have gone a lot worse for Willowkeeper right there. I mean, they got somewhat. I mean, the Pharaoh initiation was good, but after Pharaoh sort of initiates, they don't really have a lot of lockdown to like sort of hold people. Like we saw, like Bubbles getting away, Puppet Master just running away then, and after Pharaoh, there's just not much they can really lock down. They've got the damage, they've got the team fight. It's just hard to keep control of these Legion heroes, actually. But yeah, I mean, the team fight didn't go too bad. So, I mean, defending the T1 wasn't too bad of a consequence, even though maybe waiting for the Shrunken Head on Puppet Master could have definitely made the team fight go a lot better in the end. But
You are right. I mean, yeah, you look at the big picture, that could have gone worse for Willowkeeper. So
yeah.
it's kind of, that's where the thing is like, okay, at least it wasn't that bad if you're a Willowkeeper. BMG, no doubt, feeling pretty good after that. I mean, Limp continues to be the top farmer at 450 GPM now. And actually, he went his own Shrunken. I don't know if we talked about that. We were talking about what his next item would be. He goes Shrunken Head. I don't know if I saw that coming. Does that make sense to you, though?
It's probably the better item choice I was now thinking about.
Oh, yeah, we got some initiation here. Bubbles realizing he's in a bad spot. He has a shell zone. He can't get the port off, though. He's locked down to death. He gets the cup off in the last second in the background, though. Behemoth with a shockwave, locking down Bombardier, but not long enough. He pops that Shrunken Head, speaking of it, and now putting in the auto attacks. Puppet Master, kind of an awkward angle. The Mummy Walls, the Fissure Stun. It's really making it difficult to assist right here, and that's another one of those kind of things. That's unfortunate because, I mean, I think Puppet Master was ready to come and put in some good damage, but he was really blocked off there.
Yeah, and that just comes down to well played by Jonas and like blocking that Puppet Master completely. That was almost like a 4v5 fight there because Puppet Master did almost nothing. Like he didn't even have to pop the Shrunken Head because that's how little he was in that team fight as a result. So well played counter from BMG. But I think you're right though. Like Willowkeeper are taking these team fights where they don't even have to. Like they don't have to defend tier 2. Like they're going against like 5v6 team fights here because token on Swiftblade, and they could have just waited. Like the tokens run out on Swiftblade right now, but now as a result they're like 5k gold down and 7k experience down, and the next team fight they're going to take is going to be worse just because they took team fights they probably shouldn't have as a result. But
buyback situation again. Tundra did buy back in that earlier fight. Not the biggest cost by any means, but it's something worth noting here. Throughout all this fighting, Token Alive has worn off on Swiftblade with that said, so yeah, exactly. Now if you're Willowkeeper, speaking of outer towers, they still have their bottom and their middle secondary, so again, goes back to if a push does happen from BMG, maybe going to second guess themselves now, realizing how these last couple of times have not really gone the best for them. Really just set defense up in your base and kind of work your way from there. But again, so nothing's coming down once again. Going back to the Shrunken Head on Bombardier, it definitely helped that last fight. Is that surprising to you, though, to see?
It's a great pickup, actually. I think I should have said that before Spell Sunder because, like, oh yeah, he doesn't have the greatest damage output, because he doesn't have the Spell Shards or the Spell Sunder, but at the same time, Shrunken Head, a lot of people don't really realise this, but you pick up a Shrunken Head and it almost increases your damage output because you're staying alive longer in team fights, so you get more spells off. Oh, middle lane, by the way.
Easy gank on him. Now, Bubbles actually a little bit blocked right there. But he's going to be fine. Yeah, big catch on the Empath. Again, it is just an Empath, but kills are kills. Always good to get, obviously. So yeah, it sounds like you're a big fan of that Shrunken Head, and now he gets the Acolyte Staff, actually. So, Sheep Stick, more than likely going to be the case here.
Yeah, I mean, like, Shrunken Head is like perfect, though, because, like, when you get Shrunken Head, Legion can do absolutely nothing. Like, even Puppet Master is all, magic in a sense. Obviously, it's all attacks physical, but the main damage comes, particularly in this mid-game, is obviously his ultimate and his control potential with his Puppet Show and his Puppeteer's Hold, but with Shrunken Head, it completely nullifies him. And this is one thing, actually, I've noticed from Willowkeeper after playing against him and watching a lot of their scrims. They run a lot of magic sort of heavy team, and they get countered quite easily by Shrunken Heads, but they're looking to take a team fight here, actually, top lane.
Yeah. Willowkeeper says not really interested. They seem to be, again, they went for those team fights earlier in defense and kind of backfire, but now they might almost be at a point of playing a little bit too cautious right here. But at the same time, again, they don't want to be diving into the tower either to the 5-man setup of BMG, so I'm not saying that was a bad decision on their part, but you kind of wonder what the mental state is at now after what happened at those earlier top fights here. But Puppet Master just instead gonna insist going back to farming the Ancients and actually does a triple stack pull right here. So gonna look to find that Bubbles. Oof, nearly got caught out. Definitely spotted, but you can tell BMG, they know those Ancients are probably being done right now, and yeah, they're gonna fall back here on a Willowkeeper as soon as they see that. But that's unfortunate because that just means BMG is just gonna take the Ancients now, and they're gonna do that pretty quickly actually.
But this is what we were talking about, like Shrunken Heads on the two main farmers on BMG, and and the team fight potential coming up from Willowkeeper is just so completely weakened because they really have no kind of sort of spells or lockdown, which is outside the magic. So these Shrunken Heads are paying so much dividends coming out from BMG, and that's why we see actually Fuzi pick up a Shrunken Head. We don't really see a lot of Shrunken Heads pick up on the Swiftblade because the Blade Frenzy offers him that magic immunity. But in this case, I think the Shrunken Heads is even good or even better because it offers even more magic immunity. As they're going against a team that is so magic heavy, it's a really good pickup actually.
Yeah.
And I think the only way really Willowkeeper can get back in this game is they need to use their portal keys. They've got portal key on Bubbles, portal key on Behemoth, portal key on Tundra, as well as the gain potential of Puppet Master. And they just need to get as many pickups as possible. But that's obviously easier said than done because BMG are going to try and defend or help their teammates any way possible. But we saw actually in the earlier stages of this game, that's how BMG got back into this game because of the ganking and roam into potential top lane actually. Luna might be in trouble here.
This is, I was going to say, Luna might be in trouble. Swiftblade actually could have been in trouble too, but no, yeah, Bubbles goes away, and Luna's like, yeah, I'm not going to stick around here because that is scary. So Bubbles, he is going to stick around. Look at Bubbles, by the way. He gets some puzzle blocks himself. Speaking of the puzzle blocks item, so not your everyday item on a Bubbles by any means, but
boxy.
that's all you need to say. Boxy, it works for him. Oh, speaking of Boxy, that was a hell of a play. He shell surfs away, he portal keys in for the tower kill, and then he uses the shell surf port to escape. That was pretty well played.
Yeah, it's very well played. But I think for the strategy coming out from Hellborn here is they're going to just wait for Conga. I think they're just going to keep farming. They've got the Hellborn advantage. I think we'll see either Silkid or Hanskin start warding or counter-warding around Conga when the timer comes back up. And once they get a token on either Swiftblade or Bombardier, probably the Swiftblade, they can probably go high ground against it because Legions don't have the potential to really take these team fights now that Swiftblade and Bombardier have got Shrunken Heads unless some kind of miracle happens really or misplays and Shrunkens aren't popped out for Swiftblade or Bombardier here.
Yeah. Speaking of Bombardier, again, going back to the Ancients, continue to farm it up, continues to be the top farm of the game, 482 gold per minute now for him. And again, that Sheepstick is just around the corner at this time. So you also got Pharaoh, level 16 himself, but the puzzle box level 3, a barbed armor he just finished. Conqueror's back up, and guess where BMG is? They're right at the Conqueror pit. This time it's not going to be a Ninja Conqueror, though, because you got Willowkeeper and not only a little bit of vision, but they are already heading over. And BMG picks up on that, so good response coming out from Willowkeeper this time around with that said. But again, there's the Sheepstick finishing full. Ooh, Symbol of Rage coming out from good old Puppet Master here. So again, this is that area of like what item are we going to see next in the Puppet Master? It definitely varies. And he goes Symbol this game.
I think he needs the tankiness. Like we talked about how Legion have a lot of burst potential, and it's good that the Hellborn side are picking up Shrunken to sort of increase the survivability. But it's the same for Puppet Master as well. If you can sort of survive without getting bursted down, it's the team fight's gonna be a lot better. But Willowkeeper have to defend or at least try and contest this Congo, because if they let it go, like they're gonna be even worse off. Like I don't think they can win. I don't think they can win a team fight, a normal 5-on-5, let alone if they get a token on Swiftblade here. So their best chance is to at least try and take a team fight here and hope something well comes of it.
If you're Behemoth here, I almost want to say you want to try to get this Bombardier especially, get the supporting cast, rather than just jumping onto the Swiftblade who's on the Conqueror pit. Now, obviously they're not there right now, and they don't really have the vision up here other than maybe a Shiver. But again, you see right here, Pharaoh's doing a great job of making sure that those are not alive. And as soon as they kill the Shiver, they go back into the Conqueror pit. So he is low. Here we go, though. Tundra jumps in. They catch Bombardier. That's the target they want. The Shockwave on top. Can they burst him down fast enough? No, they cannot. Bombardier will live. And now Pharaoh with the Mummy Wall is up. Swift slashes in the background. Puppet Master, he is forced to use a Symbol of Rage any second. He finally uses it at the last second. He's putting in the auto attacks, but they are going to kite him away. And as soon as that runs off, now he's in trouble. Even with a double damage rune, it's Nuck. Oh, the Voodoo Puppet! At the last second, it does take out Swiftblade. That shows you the damage, man. But still, the end result is going to be BMG coming out on top and, well, taking the Conqueror pit. Damn.
Yeah. And this just goes back to Shrunken Head pickups on Swiftblade and Bombardier. Like, you saw when they got initiated on them, they did quite a lot of damage, but then Bombardier and Swiftblade popped their Shrunken Heads, and then Legion did almost no damage. Obviously, the Puppet Master, he was doing tons of damage, but obviously that was a get over when Shrunkens were finished on Swiftblade. But yeah, again, it was a close team fight, and I think that was the best initiation that Willowkeeper could do. But it's these Stronger heads are doing so much work, and it just goes back to the draft, honestly, that Willowkeeper don't really have any kind of physical presence actually in these team fights, but they still show that they can definitely have the potential to take these team fights if the initiation goes their way, though.
Yeah. You see right here, the token of life is still down. I mean, obviously they're just protecting it here. Is BMG, and I don't think the Legion team really has any way to know that, so by no means I don't think a Ninja is going to be coming out here, and I'm sure, well, the question is, I assume they're going to get to Swiftblade. Yeah, he's probably going to just wait for him to res. I'm going to say maybe Bombardier, but no, they give to Swiftblade here as he's going to resurrect. He has an item slot open. In fact, he still even has his hatchet. At this point, maybe he's gotten rid of that by now, but has that, so definitely still has plenty of inventory space, to say the least here. So yeah, he's going to pick up the token of life. And, you know, kind of the crafty thing about this, well, see, I'm not sure how this works. Okay, I was going to say, if you never pick it up initially, does the timer start? But, yeah, that makes sense. It does start. And we just never really find ourselves in that situation, really, so I was kind of curious about that. But, no, it's already down to 3 minutes and 40 seconds on a Swiftblade. So, but with that said, I mean, they're going to need to use it here sooner than later.
Oh, Empath Invis.
Yeah. Scouting out. Does he open on a Bubbles? Bubbles shelter, but he gets the sheep stick. And are they going to respond? Yes, they are. Shockwave comes out. There's a Fidger stun, but Puppet Master is very, very patient with this. He is not going in. His teammates fall. That's your classic case of not everyone being on the same page right there.
Yeah, and I think the game might be mostly over now. They're so far behind in terms of golden XP, as well as they're going against the token Swiftblade. I'm pretty sure that they can get this Rax as well. They don't have buyback on Behemoth or Bubbles, which is their main key heroes. And yeah, this Rax is going to fall. They might try one more time, maybe, to hope for a miracle. Willowkeeper, but I think this game is going to be going to BMG.
Yeah. But hey, that means we got a game number 3 if that's the case, so can't be too disappointed about that. Obviously, we're looking for, again, taking the first game here against BMG, but clearly Bad Monkey Gaming fighting back very strong here, even despite, again, the tri-lane. I mean, what was on paper supposed to be a pretty powerful tri-lane, they didn't do so well. They arguably, I think, not arguably, they lost it.
Yeah,
but still more game after that, and obviously the gank into this right here is a perfect example of that. Pharaoh, his Wrath of the Pharaoh was huge this game.
Yep.
Set up many big kills.
And they're still going to try and go in, but yeah, this game's... Oh, they're going in.
Puppet Master, look at the 1 kill on a Bombardier right there. Swiftblade, though, he still has a token of life. He's going to stand his ground. Put in the auto attacks. Of course, Gelfin in the background gets a lockdown. They get the kill to Glacia. So, I mean, yes, they are fighting back pretty strong right here. They're going to clean them up, it looks like, actually. Swiftblade. Yeah, can he escape right here? Shrunken Head is up. Not for much longer, though. Behemoth waiting for that. He will block him off with the Fidger stun, kinda. There's a spin now, and yes, I think Swiftblade's probably going to end up falling right here. Yeah, there's no way he's getting away from this, even with that assassin shot, so he does go down. Okay, I mean, they basically get a genocide right there. And no, Pharaoh did actually port back. But anyways, they get nearly a genocide, but they did lose both the middle and the top melee rack, so they're kind of all in now.
It wouldn't be that bad, but now BMG have buybacks as well, so Tree won't be able to take racks here, so it's more of a moral victory in that team fight than anything else, but we'll have to see. I mean, there's definitely a potential to still take this game. They're only 10k gold now behind, although they do have 2 lost racks, but...
Like I said, they're kind of in the all-in mentality, as they kind of need to be at this point of the game with where things are at, so they're going to just push as much as they can in the middle lane, but Pharaoh jumping in, buyback on a Bombardier, airstrike comes out immediately. Actually is dodged by Puppet Master, but he is so low right here. If he kills that Mauler, he's dead. He pops the Shrunken Head. That Mauler's almost dead. The Mauler does explode. It almost kills Bubbles, actually. It really goes to show you the damage that those things can put out, man. And they are going to spread away, but again, clearly, as expected. I mean, Swiftblade doesn't even buy back right there. He's just going to wait out. Look at this Wrath of the Pharaoh. Oh, he has a staff. I was going to say he just used it, but he has a staff of the Master. So that makes a little more sense. Now a 20-second cooldown. And that's why, if you can get it, you want to get that item on Pharaoh. So.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, that's what it shows how far BMG are ahead. They just almost won that team fight 4v5. Tree knew they had to retreat, even though they were going against four heroes coming up from BMG.
So again, they're going to stand their ground here, and then it's definitely up to them, obviously, in the end of playing it out as much as they feel like it. But obviously, this is a pace of really things like BMG is going to... I mean, I can't blame them at the same time, because again, they have their ultimates are resetted. They have a level 16 behemoth. They're going to kind of like just go for one last fight.
Yeah, definitely.
really, and hey, who knows what can happen, so.
Yeah, if they win this team fight, actually, like, it's still anyone's game, arguably. They're going to probably come back in terms of golden XP if they win this team fight.
Yeah.
They might be able to get a Rex as well as in a return, so it's definitely a possibility. And BMG, no, it's actually maybe a bit too risky. They're probably just going to play the safe game and wait for the next Conga. They've got map control now with 2 Rex down. BMG obviously just want to make sure to secure this game too. There's no need to throw this game if they've already got it, if that makes sense. So they'll probably just wait it out, play the safe game.
Yeah, I mean, the overall golden experience lead, again, it isn't anything too
top
crazy
lane.
here. They do catch, actually, Puppet Master, the Assassin Shroud, or the, I should say, Puzzle Box minion comes out to expose the Assassin Shroud, but obviously he's able to pour it out with that Shrunken Head. So the big downside of that is that now the Shrunken Head is on cooldown, and of course BMG's very aware of that. So this is where they're probably going to look to now play that aggressive playstyle here, as they've been doing Empath in the background, kind of harassing Luna a little bit, kind of toying with him even. Just keeping him on his toes. Nice wall off there. Oh, Fusen, you're in trouble. It's just a level 10 of Luna, really, in the end. Not a big deal, but he manages to survive, actually. So, but yeah, they know the Shrunken Head's on cooldown. It's about 25 more seconds now. He actually buys a Hellflower, by the way. That's Puppet Master. So, he finishes that now. And how's that coming into this last fight? As a Genjiro's just delivered, though, to Swiftblade. They don't have buybacks themselves now anymore, but they do got some pretty big items, including staff actually on Bombardier. That's not an everyday item, but it does increase the damage as well as the damage over time that it does now on the ground that it leaves behind. So, pretty powerful tool there. Here we go, though. They're going to try to lock down Bombardier off the bat. So I'm going to see in the background, Behemoth with a Shockwave, followed up on a quick Storm Spirit comes out of Bombardier. He's going to be fine. So Slash is bouncing around. The Voodoo Puppet comes out from Puppet Master right there. Still is alive, Bombardier, though, and Puppet Master is going to be turned when it's all said and done. And that should do it officially. Yep, GG is already being called. BMG is going to take game number 2 here. And once again force that third and final game. So, yep, we saw at the end there. Just obviously a little too much punch there.
Yeah, but well played coming up from BMG. Honestly, they were looking. I was looking scared for BMG, especially at the early stages. I thought it could even been a 2-0 victory coming out from Willow, but it really does show though the experience coming up from BMG. They were behind, but they kept their game plan and capitalised on the mistakes coming out from Willowkeeper. And it was honestly well played coming out from Jonas and Fam and Limp. Actually, they got back. In the game, honestly, just through ganks and sort of counter ganks with the TPs, particularly coming out from Pharaoh. We saw obviously Krake and Boxy trying to get maybe edge their advantage even more with a few ganks, but BMG capitalised on Willowkeeper not being S5, and as a result got those hero kills to get back in the game. I think that was the main turning point, and then after that, Shrunken Heads were getting picked up from BMG, and Willowkeeper just didn't have the right draft to really tackle the Shrunken Heads coming out from Limp and Fuzi. But yeah, I'm looking forward to game 3 though. It's going to be good.
Looking forward to it indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, with that said, another break right here. But of course, BMG, Bad Monkey Gaming versus Willowkeeper. Third and final game to decide who's going to take this series. And again, Willowkeeper